Thank you for joining us for Life Without Limits. I'm your co-host, Nikita Sharice, and we are out and about seeing what's going on good in the neighborhood. And today, we are at the Urban Network Cyber Cafe, which is located at 5740 Grand River, Detroit, Michigan 48208. And every third Sunday of the month, you can come here and you'll find the People's Survival Program Detroit doing good things in the community, distributing clothing free, giving groceries free, serving hot food free, right here with no community grants, no federal grants, no government grants, just people coming together from a heart of service, from a heart of love, doing what needs to be done without waiting for someone else to stand in and control their destiny. So we're also here with the owner of the Urban Network Cyber Cafe, Mr. Yusuf Shakur. Yusuf Shakur is an author, an entrepreneur, a community leader, an activist. Let's see, he was a 2012 nominee for the Best Community Leader at the Steve Harvey Hoodie Awards, and he's just also a good brother that I love and support. And I'm really glad to have him with us today because I have been trying to get an interview, get a hold of this man since March of 2012. That's how busy he is doing good in the city of Detroit. So, Yusuf, I want to thank you so much for having the time to be with me today because we know you're in the middle of a big event today. Tell me a little bit about the People's Survival Program Detroit, what it is, and how you became involved.
The People's Survival Program is an extension of the Black Panther Party, which the Black Panther Party initiated as like a sailor who has a sailor kit who finds himself out in survival, and that kit helps him or her until help comes. So the survival program is following that same pursuit of feeding our people, loving our people, clothing our people. It's not a solution, but however, it's a raft to get us off track. We're here to take initiative. So through the Black Soldiers Program, which I'm co-national chairman, we initiated here in Colorado, New York. They've been doing it maybe like 2-3 years. So again, and it's some work we've already been doing. School supply, clothes here, food here. We just kind of just brought it all together through the Black Soldiers.
And I want to say this, one of the things that I have really admired about you and that causes me to feel that you are really the personification of Life Without Limits. You are the personification of what we hope to encourage, inspire, and empower people to do. You see what needs to be done and you take action. You don't ask for permission, you don't wait for some other outside of yourself to come in and say, let's do this. You get together with like-minded people who are willing, and you just do what needs to be done. And you make it real simple. You cut out all the bureaucratic red tape. And I was really fortunate to be able to volunteer this past year at your school supply giveaway, which was not just a school supply giveaway. You also presented some local artists, local, good people. You gave them a platform. You fed all the families that were there. You had wonderful, mind-changing books there, and it was free. And the school supplies, if people don't understand, maybe if they haven't had the experience of growing up in the hood, something as simple as a school supply, can take a load off a parent's mind and make a difference to that child going in and starting school. So let me ask you, how did that begin? And how many times have you done this? And how did that begin?
We've done it 6 times. I'm sorry, 5 times, 8 times overall. Last year we were fortunate enough to do it twice in 1 year. It's a huge event. It wasn't make it huge because it comes out of our own personal experience. It comes out of your personal experience. And then that's the thing where you take the bureaucracy out of in the sense of you're a single parent or a child that grew up in that type of environment. You know what the dynamics that's the impact of our community. So again, that once you can eliminate the barriers that we put in our place in our own lives, then we can become free in the sense of serving our community. We've evolved from the first time we did it till now each year we're giving away a couple hundred backpacks this year goal is 6,000. You know, this is the 6th year. We've been able to influence other people to follow our lead, which is important. So, you know, as folks follow our lead, and we want to up the ante. You know, 6,000 backpack in the city of Detroit, across the state of Michigan. We change the landscape. You know, and the harder work we do is sitting around restoring the neighbor back to the hood, restoring love, restoring hope, restoring care, restoring people that who are willing to go within their pocket again. You know, I'm not anti-grants, but I'm anti-folks. That's all you're gonna wait on.
Right.
Your program is limited because when the money goes, the program's gone.
Okay, let me ask you this: how does a young man from a single-parent household in Zone 8, a person that had been, gang affiliated, I guess you would say, had engaged at a young age in gang activity, who was kicked out of the public school system, who became a ward of the state because your mother couldn't handle you, who ended up in the penitentiary system, how does that young man become a Yusuf Shakur, become one that's providing for the community instead of being a predator to the community? How does that young man become one who was a terrorist, an urban terrorist, to someone who is now a beacon of light and hope in the community? How does that happen?
It happened based upon a transformation that occurred between me and my father. It allowed me to redeem myself, to finally allow me to understand who I am through knowledge of self. And knowing that I'm an African warrior, a soldier, understanding the legacy of what it meant to fight against injustice, recognizing that my community is oppressed, and how I contributed to that, understanding that the dynamics politically, socially, and culturally of how my community has been suffocated. And again, I've always been a fighter, so now with the right information, I can fight for the right things. So it's not an easy process, but it's a process nevertheless that I was committed to once someone showed me how to get myself to that. And that was based upon my father, taking that road, traveling that road first, and showing me how to travel.
And you mentioned your father, and you did not meet your father until you were in the penitentiary. That's where well, not initial meeting, you had known him, but the meeting, the bonding, the change in relationship occurred in prison. And what I find interesting and really compelling about you is that while most people will take a situation such as being in prison, they're physically in prison, but you, through your father's guidance and instruction, and I think something that's just in your heart, you were not imprisoned in your mind.
I mean, prior to going to prison, I was in prison. So once I became free mentally in prison, physically, it was just easy to come home and do these things that I'm doing now. In the sense of, again, if I don't do it, who will? I'm not waiting on the pastor down the street. I'm not waiting on the mayor downtown. I'm not waiting on the city council. I feel like each and every one of us is the mayor in our city, in our own community, with the city council in our own neighborhood. Fundamentally, we have the power within ourselves to do it. We just have to have the belief. The belief allowed me to open up a bookstore and zero budget. The belief allowed me to do the things that I do, but a budget of hope, a budget of love, a budget of inspiration.
You about to get me shouting and standing up in here. And again, I touched on that. I want to mention too. Where we stand now, or sit, the Urban Network Cyber Cafe, this was born out of, for lack of a better word, rejection. So you had written your first book and you were looking for venues, for stores, to put your book on the shelf. You found what?
I found no one that was receptive. But again, for every negative is a positive. And that's been my motto. So through my transformation, I could have sat on my oldest couch, pouted, and cried, boo-hoo. But how can you expect somebody to invest in you if you want to invest in yourself? So this is how my mind works. So my book was put out in 2008. Here we are in 2013. I've sold over 5,000 copies. It's been utilized in university across the whole state of Michigan, traveling across the country. So these same people that didn't want to talk to me then, now they want to talk to me. So again, it's a bittersweet thing. I don't forget, but I do forget.
All right. And let me say this: you sold 5,000 copies without a major publishing house behind you, without a marketing firm pushing the book, yourself, hand in hand. And I use that to say, I always find that if we can look at someone else and we can relate to that experience as our own, you know, we see somebody else saying me too, that encourages somebody else, that inspires somebody else, because each and every individual has something to bring to the table. So as you felt, I'm sorry.
I will say it's just a matter about the commitment. It's about belief. Once we can change our mindset and change within ourselves, we can change our community. You know, fundamentally, we don't think that we can because we're so disconnected from those who are doing it. You know, it's an everyday struggle. And when you're in the struggle, you got to know that how to struggle. Productively versus counterproductively. Urban Network can be in the community. A backpack can be in the community. A people survival program can be in the community. Youth Session Corps can be in the community. Life Limits can be in the community. You just have the belief. And once we have that belief, we can take where we go.
Thank you. So let me ask you this. They can find you at YusufShakur.org. How else can they reach you?
Direct 313-459-6008. If you're on Facebook, Yusuf Shakur. Google me. I'm the most easiest guy in America to find. Power to the people.
Thank you so much.
Oh, just in time.
All right, so we've been with Yusuf Shakur at the Urban Network Cyber Cafe. Thank you for tuning again. Please know that whatever you believe and conceive, you can achieve. Peace.